Sorry.
Oh, you're eating? Okay.
Welcome to Cheap Pops. I'm Nick.
I'm Dave, and I'm going to take these off so I can actually see. But they look pretty legit, don't they? Yeah. They're not from WWE Shop, though. They're actually from Temu, and I just used a paint marker on them, but I think it's pretty cool. It's WrestleMania season, but there also is other wrestling stuff going on. Did you watch any clips from AEW Dynasty?
Here and there, yes.
Okay. The 0 hour pre-show, there was a 6-man that was like all high spots. I fast-forwarded through it. This happened on April 6th, by the way, 2 days after my birthday. Max Caster did his open challenge, and Anthony Bowens returned, his former tag team partner with Billy Gunn. Bowens pretty much squashed Caster, which is what they've been doing lately with Caster, where he's just been squashing him, doing, it's everybody he challenges beats him in like 30 seconds, so I don't know where they're going with it. They did that kind of, well, they didn't do squashes with MVP, but MVP went on a losing streak for a while on SmackDown, so. And
they did the same thing with Kurt Hawkins.
Yeah, well, Hawkins had like 3 or 4 year losing streak.
Yeah.
The main card, it was the opening round of the Owen Hart tournament. Will Ospreay against Kevin Knight. Kevin Knight had just been signed by AEW. It was supposed to be Switchblade Jay White, but he ended up getting injured, which sucks because he had just cut a bunch of promos saying how bad he wanted to be in the tournament, and then he couldn't be in it. Knight's athleticism is extremely impressive, but you can say that about a lot of people in AEW, but I've never seen him before, so it's actually pretty cool to see what he can do. Incredible back and forth match. Ospreay won with the hidden blade. I didn't expect Ospreay to lose this match because he's one of their main guys right now. And then the tag titles, Big Bill and Brian Keith of the Learning Tree. The branches off the Learning Tree against the Hurt Syndicate. Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin, one of the best things going in AEW right now. I thought it was an okay tag match. MJF interfered by hitting, I think it was Big Bill with the Dynamite Diamond Ring, and the Hurt Syndicate retained. The Big Bill's good. Brian Keith is all right, but being with Chris Jericho is like the kiss of death for them. So I'm not. The Hurt Syndicate is great. It was a good tag match. I'm not complaining about that, but there's a lot I want to say about AEW after I go through this review. There's something that happened. And then another Owen Hart tournament match, Mercedes Moné against Julia Hart. Mercedes Moné is the TBS champion. She didn't, I don't understand why she's in this tournament when she's already got like 5 belts, and it's just stupid to me, especially if she ends up winning it.
Yeah.
She hasn't been relevant since she's been Sasha Banks. I hate her in AEW. I think she sucks on the mic. Julia Hart has improved so much. She's got such a good entrance with that theme song. I really hope Buddy Matthews can get back quickly, because the Hounds of Hell with him and Brody King and Julia Hart was a really good group. I mean, Julia Hart on her own is good anyways, but...
Who's been really good in the women's division in AEW? Toni Storm.
Toni Storm is great. I mean,
yes.
that timeless Toni Storm stuff is great.
It's...
Right. But Julia Hart has a great presence. She did the Undertaker rope walk during the match, which was pretty cool. Monet won. I wrote that's bullshit, because now she advances, and Julia Hart, where you could actually do something with somebody like her. But and then the Trios Championship, the Death Riders, Claudio Castagnoli, Wheeler Yuta, and Pac against Rated FTR.
Oh, you mean Superhuman?
Yes, yeah. Yeah. It was pretty much a tornado tag match. The ref had no control, but that happens a lot in AEW. I like it. A lot of things in AEW, but some things just crawl up my ass, and that.
You mean the Death Rider shit?
Yeah, the ref's not having any control. But then again, Aubrey Edwards isn't a character like she was in the beginning of AEW, so I do like that. She's just being a ref, and I like that. Death Riders retained, and then Dax pile drove Cope, also known as Edge. Cash pulled the Edge Cope into the Shatter Machine, and then they did a spike pile driver, and Cope was stretchered out, and he got a concerto twice, and then got stretchered out. So the Death Riders are still the Trios champions, and that stuff sucks.
And the crowd was chanting, "You deserve this," as he's being stretchered out.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, it just, the crowd, I don't think they want him. A lot of these old WWE guys, they just don't want. And from what I've seen or heard, it's going to be Edge and Christian against the Hurt Syndicate, or Edge and Christian against FTR. Edge and Christian are both in their 50s. I don't want to see that. I mean, if it gets anything off the Death Riders and they're just gone, that's fine with me.
Yeah.
But I just don't. I don't see Edge and Christian against FTR being a good series. But we'll see how it plays out. But you mentioned Toni Storm. She was next against Megan Bayne. We've seen Megan Bayne live.
Yes.
She's really, really good. Very good match. Both great pros. Toni Storm got a small package and retained. She's calling it her big package because everything she's doing lately is a sexual innuendo, which I think is funny.
Have you seen the interview that she did with Tony Khan?
Yeah, and she did the Man from Nantucket limerick. Just
yes.
tremendous.
Yes.
She's so good. And I know, like, Jim Cornette thinks it's stupid. Brian Last thinks it's stupid. A lot of people think it's stupid because they want wrestling. I want wrestling too. I think there's a lot of good wrestling on AEW, but there needs to be characters too.
Yes.
And I think she is a really good character. If you don't like it, don't watch it.
Exactly.
I mean, half of the people fast forward through women's matches anyways, which I think is stupid.
Right.
Although, I do it a little bit in NXT because there's so many women on the roster that I do. But, and when Jordan Grace is in the ring too, I can't stand her. Or Nia Jax. There's certain ones, like I'm going to watch.
Especially Charlotte Flair.
Yeah,
Oh.
I'm not going to fast forward through it because it's at Mania and I want to see if Tiffany Stratton will win. But if it's a generic match with Charlotte Flair, I just don't care.
I'm hoping they have Tiffany Stratton win and not, put Charlotte in the title back on Charlotte.
We will be doing a WrestleMania preview later. The next match, the Owen Hart tournament, Kyle Fletcher against Mark Briscoe. Fletcher did a dragon suplex with Briscoe on an open chair. That was pretty gnarly. It was brutal. Briscoe wouldn't give up. Fletcher hit a top rope brain buster for the win, so Fletcher advances. I've heard it said that they missed the boat on Mark Briscoe. After Jay Briscoe died, you could have made him a huge babyface, and I agree with that.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, the crowd's going to cheer for him no matter what because they really like him, but it is a missed opportunity, and you could say that with a lot of people in AEW, but it just, I don't know.
They really put an end to halt right to Hook.
Yeah, well, we're going to talk about Hook later because
I've seen the video.
Ring of Honor title versus mask. Chris Jericho, the Ring of Honor champion, against Bandito. I thought it was an okay match. Typical Jericho, he used the bat. And then Jericho won, and Bandito was supposed to take off the mask, but Bandito's family came across the railing and let Aubrey Edwards know where the bat was, and they reversed it. And they did a restart, and Bandito won the title. Anything to get Chris Jericho away from anything, I'm happy with.
Yes,
now,
absolutely.
He is the kiss of death at this point to pretty much anything. He was doing the goofy voice, and all that stuff, the high guys and all that stuff. I guess he's kind of being a little more serious now, but it still doesn't matter. His stuff is shit. And I think Tony Khan needs to grow a backbone and realize that some of this stuff is just shit. Like the Moxley stuff with the Death Riders is just horrible. It
is.
Next was the TNT title, the champion Danny Garcia against Adam Cole.
Can you say, like, WCW, like, mid-2000s a little bit?
Not as much.
With some.
Some of it, yes. Some of it is just bad, but their pay-per-views are outstanding.
Yes.
And you couldn't say that about a lot of WCW in 2000.
No.
Danny Garcia against Adam Cole. I thought it was good. Adam Cole's the new TNT champ, so I don't know what they're going to do with Danny Garcia at this point. It just, their pay-per-views are really good, and this was a good match. It's just, it's hard to defend the product right now with what we're going to talk about after.
Yeah.
This match was crazy. The international title, the champion Kenny Omega against Ricochet and the newly signed Speedball Mike Bailey. High spots, obviously, it's Ricochet, Kenny Omega, and Mike Bailey. Kenny won with an avalanche, one-winged angel. I thought it was a good match. Ricochet has really come into his own as a heel. I really like what he's doing,
Yes.
Being the sarcastic, cocky heel. I think it was good. And then the main event, which this should not have closed the show.
No.
Swerve Strickland against Jon Moxley for the AEW title. Moxley's garbage. They did unnecessary ladder spot with Swerve stomping Moxley through the announce table. And the Death Riders and Hangman Adam Page and the Ops, which is Samoa Joe, Hook, and Shibata, all got involved. Moxley retained. It was just the lights go out. The Young Bucks came in and did the double knee onto Swerve. Moxley retained, a shitty way to end the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
It wasn't good, and we've said it before, AEW needs a hard reset. They really need, because now the Young Bucks are back. What are they going to do? Are they going to go for the tag titles against the Hurt Syndicate? Those will be shit matches. Because what, Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin are going to sell the super kicks? Fuck that.
No.
There's no way that they should be even a contender against the Hurt Syndicate. It's just stupid. But what we were talking about before, there was a match involving Hook and the Death Riders and the Ops, and Hook puked in the ring because he had a concussion, and they continued the match.
Yeah.
You've got a doctor at ringside. Granted, he might not have seen Hook puked in the ring, but everybody else in that ring could have seen it.
Yes.
And you know that might be a sign of a concussion. There's people in the back that are at a monitor. There's directors at the monitor. You can't tell me Tony Khan doesn't have a monitor. That match, I don't care if Hook said I'm okay to go. That match should have been stopped, and they should have done the concussion protocols.
Yes.
The fans might have booed a little bit, but
you got a man in there with a possible concussion.
Exactly, and they confirmed that it was a concussion later on. I think, and this is just me, my 2 cents, Tony Khan, the owner, the booker, the CEO, he needs to come out on TV. He needs to apologize to Hook. He needs to apologize to Taz, who's the guy's father who works for the company. And he needs to apologize to the fans, because that situation should not happen. At this point, with what we know about brain injuries, those things should not happen anymore. They just should not. So I'll never understand why that happened. But I like a lot of things of AEW, but a lot of it is hard to defend, and that's one thing that's really hard to defend. And with WWE doing so well right now, I don't understand how as a wrestler working for that company, you can defend some of that stuff when you're doing media and stuff, because you know it's going to come up.
Oh, yeah.
And that's, and you got a good young guy like Hook that could be, I'm not saying he needs to go to NXT, and I'm not saying these guys need to leave AEW, but there needs to be some accountability. With all the stuff that happened with CM Punk and Jack Perry, and all that, where CM Punk is one of the most popular guys in the business right now, and you had him under contract, and you could have done a lot with him. When he first came back in AEW, the crowd was crazy, the buzz for AEW was amazing, and you screwed all that up. And you can say it's Punk all you want, but he's not screwing up in WWE right now.
No.
So, I don't know. But what we have on the table right now is mostly not your game controller, but people that are going to be involved in WrestleMania weekend. Well, I don't think Hulk Hogan will. But you got Kane. He's going to be at WrestleCon.
Yep. So we got John Cena, Seth Rollins,
Ricky Saints now.
Yep.
Ethan Page,
Hulk Hogan, Kane, CM Punk. Oh, God damn it!
Oh, Roman's doing the old Peter Griffin after getting the GTS.
Oh, God, no. Why?
And what's the video game character that you have out here?
From Ghost of Tsushima, Jin Sakai.
I have no idea what you just said because I don't play any of those games, but
it takes place in Feudal Japan, you would love it.
Yeah. Well, I haven't been playing very many games lately. But before I get into the review of the show that I went to that he couldn't go to because he couldn't get the day off and you were sick too. Mm-hmm. So it was my birthday a couple weeks ago, and he got me a couple cool things.
I went way above and beyond.
Which we do.
Yes, we do.
This Hulk Rules shirt with the WWF logo underneath it.
And it says copyrighted 1982.
That's really cool, which really can't be because he wasn't doing Hulk Rules in 1982. So whoever did this, a little off kilter, but
still, awesome.
It's cool. It's really cool. I'm not complaining.
And it looks legit.
It does. And to keep with the Hulk Hogan, the Hollywood Hulk Hogan from when the Wolfpack and the Black and White formed into the, well, it says NWO Elite. I don't ever remember them saying NWO Elite. But That's cool. I mean, it's not the same old Hulk Hogan head on it that they've been using lately. So that's pretty cool. I really like this. The Ringside Collectibles exclusive. I think that's awesome, so thank you for that.
I can't tell you how much digging I had to do for that.
And then this, Stump Wrestling, Ninja Turtles. Two of my favorite things together, the Ninja Turtles and wrestling. That's really cool to me. I mean, there's a steel chair in here, fire extinguisher, like a little soda cup, a soda can, and a sledgehammer. That's just really, and I don't know what, oh, there's a ring bell. So that's cool. I'll never open this, but that'll go with my Ninja Turtle display. So thank you very much for that.
And you would kill me if you knew how much I paid for that.
Well, I don't.
Nope.
Well, you left the receipt in there. So
shit.
So I do know how much you paid for that. But he also introduced me to Temu. So I've been buying a few things. You gotta check out how heavy duty this thing is. I thought,
dude, that is sick.
I thought this was just gonna be like a plastic. That's like an actual mask. Like,
dude, that is sick.
They didn't even wear anything like that in the movie. It was just regular plastic masks.
That's sick.
So one of the clown masks from The Dark Knight, which is my favorite Joker, is Heath Ledger from The Dark Knight. It's got a little crack on it, but I don't care. I mean, this is badass. I got you a couple things.
Friday the 13th.
Yep. And his favorite wrestler, Kane. I thought that was going to be one of the tins because they don't really do descriptions well.
No.
But and this background that we have here is off of Temu too. I got a bigger one that I'm going to put up because it covers more of the wall. But
the hand I got is from Temu to hold the controller.
And my parents said I shouldn't do that because then China has my information. I was like, China got my information a long time ago.
Yeah, look how much shit we ordered.
But I got this TNA Impact tin.
That was
awesome. Really cool. But this is my favorite one.
Yes!
My favorite tag team, Demolition, half and half of their phases. This I got basically just for my Macho Man Slim Jim collection.
Yes!
Halloween Havoc, 1997. You can get crappy stuff on I mean, this is just, this shirt, Can You See Me Now, with John Cena. I mean, it's not like screen printed.
Right.
It's actually, but I mean, you can get good stuff like that. I mean,
exactly.
I'm just going to display it with my other Slim Jim stuff. So I really
that's where I got my Red Dead Redemption Wanted poster.
Right.
With Arthur Morgan on it.
I mean, you do have to be careful with some of the stuff that you get off of there, but I like a lot of the stuff, and I've bought way too much, but it's cheap, and that's,
right.
It's coming from China. I don't know if the tariffs are going to have an effect on Temu, but I think you've got to do like $30 now, where you have to do $30 before they'll send, they'll cash
either
out.
30 or 20.
Yeah, but I liked some of the stuff I've got off of there, so.
So I got a couple of things. I mean, look at this.
I mean, hell, I got this off of there for $5, and then I just used a white paint marker to do the eat on there. So
right, and look how cool this looks.
Yeah, I mean that's badass. So, I did a table at an ISPW show, which is based in New Jersey, the Golden Ticket Rumble on the 11th of April, and he couldn't go, but the table that they gave me was this. It was in an Elks Lodge, and they had the front door, and then they had like a hallway, and then inside where the ring was and everything. So they put me out in the hallway, which was cool because it was the first thing that anybody saw when they walked into the building was our table. I posted pictures on our Facebook and our Twitter/X account. I posted pictures of our table, which I thought looked pretty legit with our stickers, you know, all in front of the table and, you know, all that. And people still wanted to buy the, you know, the masks, which I said put for display only, but still. We have what?
You got the people ask.
Yeah, and I have an iPad where we play our show, you know, videos of our show so people can see what it looks like. And other people were like, "Oh, that's a cool idea." You know, I never thought of something like that. I was like, "Well, it's a YouTube show. Why wouldn't I have the video of our show on our table?" That's just, you know, if you have a premium YouTube account, you can download them and just save it and just, you know, so even if you don't have, you know, internet, you can do it.
Right.
But one guy, no shade on you, dude. I don't even know if he thought what he was saying when he said it. But he's like, "Oh, that's really cool that you've got the video of that. Is this live?" And I'm like, I'm in the video and I'm standing right here. The other guy that's in the video isn't here with me. Is it live? Really? But it made me laugh. And I don't think he really thought what he was saying when he said it. But, you know, what are you going to do?
Wait, are we live now?
No. Well, I mean, we're live to tape, but, you know, we're not live. It was cool to go. I mean, we got like 4 or 5 subscribers out of it, and I met some cool people, and I got to see a wrestling show. It's just sometimes some people are just I don't know.
Sometimes you gotta love certain people. You gotta love certain people.
I didn't get to see the first match because I was trying to keep an eye on our table, and there was kind of like a doorway in between the hallway and where the event was taking place. So I had to like kind of stand in the doorway so I could keep an eye on the table. But I've never seen any of these people before. All great. It was a great show. All great wrestlers. Yusufer L, who was kind of doing, I don't want to say Viking, but like a barbarian kind of, you know, character against Anthony, the Tri-State champion. Like I said, I didn't get to see the match. Yusufer won the title, so that's pretty cool. The next match I did get to see because I was able to kind of get closer in and still keep an eye on the table. The ISPW Women's title, Vicious Vicky Venuto against Evil Chica. I thought it was a very good match. Vicky Venuto won by countout. I was able to meet Vicky Venuto after intermission because after intermission I realized nobody was going to come up to our table anymore. So I packed everything up and then I moved inside where the show was happening. But I got an 8x10 signed by her, and I bought one of her stickers. So I'll post
sticker
a picture.
whore.
I do. I love my stickers. I love putting them on the clipboard that I use for the show. I forgot about this. I asked if I could have one of the. I'll post pictures of these later today. They had a whole stack of tickets that weren't bought because it was a small building, but that place was packed. But I was like, I went to the show, I wanted something that I could show on the show, and they're not going to do anything with them, so I asked for a ticket. And I bought a couple more stickers. That one's for you.
Sweet.
ECW sticker. It's not an official one, and then I got one with the logo of the company, ISPW. Nice. Stands for Independent Superstars of Pro Wrestling, so I really liked that.
You want to show off the custom?
I will, yeah. Actually, I'm going to do it on the next show because I want to know if, you know, I got to write down what info to give out about that, but I will show it on the next one. So, Venuto won by countout. She was really nice. And then they had the ISPW title match. It's either Ryman or Raymond, who was the champion against Eric Corbus. They went outside the ring. It was a good match. The crowd was really into it. The crowd was hot the whole night. Totowa Tom, the event was in Totowa, New Jersey. He tried to hit Raymond with Nux, and he missed hitting Corbus, and the champ retained. And then they had the Golden Ticket Rumble, which was just a Royal Rumble. I mean, they actually had the countdown on the video screen and the buzzer, which was pretty cool. Number 1 and 2 were, I believe they were the tag champions, but they were tag partners, and they just started dancing in the ring to music. And then number 3 was Ray Kalitri, and he danced in the ring with them too. It was hard to keep track of how many entrants there were, because you're used to watching the Royal Rumble, you're used to them putting up what number this entrant is. And I'm trying to pay attention to the match, so I'm not really paying attention to how many men are coming in, the ring, and how many are getting eliminated. They had one guy named Joe Clean who looked like Mr. Clean. I mean, he had the white shirt and the white pants, and he came out with a bottle of it was supposed to be Windex, but it's probably just water with like food coloring or something in it. And he had the yellow, like cleaning gloves, and he sprayed the 2 guys in the ring with in the face with the Windex, and then he did the slap in the face with the gloves, which I thought was pretty cool. Anything like that, like we talked about the stepdads before, characters like that where people really put thought into it, I really enjoy.
And put thought into their shirts and stuff.
Yep. And they had a guy named Vargas who was just a huge dude, kind of reminds me of Umaga. And he, dominated a lot of the match. And they had a really big guy named Tiberius Asante. He was dominated a lot of the match, and they faced off a couple of times, which is really cool. And towards the end of the match, they had a guy who was dressed like one of the conquistadors, just gold from head to toe with the mask, and he had a cape. And
Arriba!
He got chokeslammed by both of the big guys, and then he rolled out of the ring like Santino did in 2011 and just laid on the floor. So I saw what was kind of coming, and he came back at the end and eliminated both of the big guys by, pushing them over the top rope, kind of like Shawn Michaels did to Vader and Yokozuna in '96. And then the referee helped him take off the mask, and it was Ray Kalitri who had come in at number 3, but it had been eliminated quickly. So he won the golden ticket, pretty much like the Money in the Bank. I think they can use it whenever they want. So I thought it was good, but it kind of felt like it dragged on because you didn't know. They weren't announcing who the people were. They weren't saying. It was on the screen, but I wish they would have, with it being that small, they would have announced who the people were as they were going.
Yeah.
And they would have shown what number they were on the screen, because it felt like the match was going on and on and on, and I just didn't know, what was going, what number they were at. So it was an entertaining show. I would like you to go. Maybe have Billy go with us too, or your girlfriend maybe, because it was a good show. And the next night, I wish I had the night off, because they had an ECW night where a bunch of the ECW originals were there, including Todd Gordon, the original owner.
Damn!
I know. I wish I had the day off, but I couldn't. So I couldn't do it. But I enjoyed the show. Thank you to the owner of ISPW and everybody there for being nice to me, and it was really welcoming. I thought it was cool that I was right in the hallway where our table was the that anybody saw. Our stickers were very popular, and we got a few followers out of it, and that's all I really want to do is get the word out about the show when we do it. So
hopefully next time it'll fall on the day where I have off.
Yeah, that would be really cool. Do you want to get into your what you picked this time?
I gotta watch it. So
you gotta watch it?
Yes, I forgot.
You're killing me.
Well, the thing is, I got distracted by a nice, cool movie that's an old one.
All right. Well, what have you been doing with the video game lately, or have you been doing anything?
I just got, and I got to get into it. I haven't started it yet, and it just came out like a couple of weeks ago. Robin Hood, the Sherwood Forest.
Okay.
It's an open world game.
Oh, okay, that's
and everything cool. RPG and this is basically off the top of my head, remembering what's about and everything. But it looks really interesting.
Yeah. Okay.
Just got Call of Duty Black Ops.
Yep.
I completed the first mission already.
Okay. I haven't played very many games lately. I really need to get it back into it, but yeah.
I gotta finish up more with the Bloodline story with the wrestling game.
Right.
Yes.
And speaking of that, it is Wrestlemania week. There's a lot going on. A lot.
Oh, and We finally got the
Nick Still picks. I think that's really cool. You got that off of Amazon. I think that's really cool. I want to get a red one because we did 2. Yeah, I had the girl that does our stuff do 2. There's one with the red letters, and then there's one with the yellow letters. So I think our stuff looks really cool.
Yes.
I think I don't think... The only one I don't like that we did... I liked it at first, but we did a parody of the Street Profits logo. It's okay, but it's not... I like a lot of our other stuff better. But,
like I said, I think we need to do like an NWO and a DX one. Yeah. Especially DX.
The DX one, we could do the CP with like the dripping, paint,
Yes, because I got a fun idea for it. We got to do the original DX logo and the newer one. Okay. Because I got a great idea for a video to do.
Okay. But like I said, it's WrestleMania week, so there's a lot going on. There's a TNA show. NXT is doing, which I think is weird because I looked at it. The NXT show is the same day as night 2 of WrestleMania.
What?
Can you imagine going and watching 3 hours of NXT and then going and watching like 3 more or 4 hours of WWE?
Right?
That's going to be fucking crazy.
Yes.
But I want to preview some of the stuff that's going on and get your picks for what's going to happen. TNA is doing their Unbreakable event. It's not a pay-per-view, but it's one of their specials that they do in between pay-per-views. And since the first Unbreakable had one of the most famous TNA matches of all time, AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, and Christopher Daniels for the X Division title in the main event, the first time the X Division had main evented a TNA pay-per-view in 2005. Since it was a triple threat that main evented that, they are doing a tournament for their new international champion. So all of the qualifying matches are triple threat matches, which I think is pretty cool. They're doing a theme. I like that. Eddie Edwards against Steve Macklin against Ace Austin. I think that'll be a good match. Who are you picking?
Probably Ace Austin.
Okay. I'm going to go with Steve Macklin just because I really like Macklin.
Yes.
So, and then the next one will be Zachary Wentz from the Rascals against JDC. If you don't know who JDC is, that was formerly Fandango, and Eric Young. So who are you going with that one?
Fandango.
Okay, you're going with JDC. And then AJ Francis, who was Top Dollar in WWE, it says to be determined, so I guess it's going to be, mystery opponents. So I'm just going to say mystery opponent. Because
probably same.
Okay, so because I just don't know.
Right.
Mike Santana and the Hardys against Mustafa Ali and the Nemeth brothers, Nick and Ryan Nemeth. Who are you going with that one?
Probably Nick
the Nemeth brothers.
Yes.
Okay. And Joe Hendry, the TNA champion.
Joe Hendry.
And Masha Slamovich, the TNA women's champion, against Frankie Kazarian and Tessa Blanchard. So you're going with Joe Hendry.
Say his name.
All right. I agree that'll be the... And then this match I'm really looking forward to. Barbed Wire Massacre. If you don't know what that is, Google TNA Barbed Wire Massacre and watch Abyss and Sabu or Abyss and Judas Messias.
Yes.
Watch the barbed wire matches from ECW and you'll get an idea too. But the TNA ones had a little bit.
Or FMW.
FMW's is good too. Mance Warner against Sami Callihan. Who are you going with?
Sami Callihan.
All right, Sami Callihan.
Oh, talk about some good lost footage. We got behind the hard cam. We got WrestleMania 8, right? Right now we got Sid Vicious on the barbershop, and he's about ready to go crazy with the steel chair, busting up the shop. Then one of he's gonna hit one of the displays, and a shaving can comes back and hits him in the face, but it sprays all over his face.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah, it's the barbershop. Yeah, in the barbershop, which was Bruce the Barber Beefcake's interview set. Yeah, that's a cool visual.
Yes, that is an absolute awesome visual.
And I think WrestleMania 8 is a very underrated WrestleMania.
Yes.
In my opinion. It wasn't great, but WrestleMania 11 to me is the worst of all time. So I think that TNA Unbreakable will be good. I mean, it's not a pay-per-view, but they've got the deal with WWE. So maybe NXT guys will be showing up to be
those. That might be awesome if NXT guys are the mystery.
Yeah, I think that would be pretty cool. But that's happening on the 17th, which is Friday. And then, like I said, the 19th, which is Sunday, which I can't imagine after having Saturday of WWE and then doing NXT and then doing it. I can't imagine. But NXT Stand and Deliver. Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson against JC Jane and Fallon Henley, against Tatum Paxley and Gigi Dolan, against Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade.
Nice. So Monday night is when I will have the time to watch Sunday's half of WrestleMania. Yeah. Because I got to work the next day.
Right. So I won't be able to watch it live either because I work nights.
The only one I can watch live is Saturday.
Right. But it's a number 1 contenders match for the women's tag title. So, I'm gonna say Roxanne, or I'm gonna say Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson because they've been pushing them. But
you don't want the build up to the Hulk Hogan Sid Justice match.
You're just determined to go off track.
No, they should have made this a stretcher match by the looks of how they're building it up.
Yeah, but, I mean, with the way they were building up.
Yes, yeah, but no way that Hulk Hogan would have done that.
Probably not. But yeah, so do you have a pick for the women's match?
What was it?
Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson, JC Jane and Fallon Henley, Tatum Paxley and Gigi Dolan, Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade.
Roxanne Perez because she's the only one I know.
All right. I mean, and she is... I guess we really can't see him, and he's staying down.
Oh, no. Oh, at least he's not doing Peter Griffin.
Right.
Poor Roman over there.
And he doesn't watch NXT, so, these names... A ladder match for the vacant Women's North American title, which Stephanie Vacour had to vacate. Zarya versus Kaylani Jordan versus Sol Ruka versus Izzy Dame versus Lola Vice versus Thea Hale.
The Veruca one.
The Veruca one? Sol Ruka?
Yes, because all I can think is fucking Gene Wilder and stuff.
Yeah. So I really like Sol Ruka. I'm going to pick her too because she does that flipping soul snatcher move, her finisher, which I think is really, really cool. So I'm going with her. A fatal 4-way. Another fatal, goddamn, another fatal 4-way. For the NXT Women's title, Stephanie Vacour versus Julia versus Jordan Grace versus Jada Parker.
They're probably going to go have Jordan Grace, so Jordan Grace.
Okay. I agree that's where they're going. I hope it's not because I don't like Jordan Grace, but that's probably where they're going.
You want to talk about somebody underrated right there, Rick the Model Martel.
I do, yeah. Martel was always one of my favorites as a kid because he was just such a good bad guy.
Yes!
The NXT tag titles, Fraxium, which is Nathan Frazier and Axiom, against Hank and Tank. I haven't seen a lot of Hank and Tank. They kind of remind me of Heavy Machinery back when Otis and used to be in the tag team. I'm going to say Fraxium because I just don't see them losing to Hank and Tank, but what about you?
Same.
Okay, we'll go Fraxium. The North American title, Ricky Saints, who is the champion, against Ethan Page. I'll go Ethan Page. You going with Ricky Saints? All right. Sounds good. And we will post the results of our picks as well. The D'Angelo family, Tony D'Angelo and Stax, and I can't think of the other guy's name, against the Dark State, who are guys that debuted kind of like the Nexus, where they just destroyed everything and attacked people. I'm going to go with Dark State because I think there's a little stuff going on with the D'Angelo family. I kind of think they're going to break them up, but I don't know who you want to pick.
Probably the same.
Okay, going Dark State. All right, I like it. I mean, you don't watch it, so I you know, but this match I think is going to tell a lot.
Because I can't, because they wait too long to put it on Peacock. So what's the point, you know?
Obafemi, who was the NXT champion, versus Trick Williams versus Javon Evans.
Obafemi.
Okay. My thing is I'm going to say Obafemi too. But I think if Trick Williams loses and doesn't regain the title, he is going to debut on the main roster on the Raw after WrestleMania. That's what I believe.
Oh, definitely.
That's what I'm thinking. So, or he is going to be one of the... Oh, no, wait, he can't because that... Never mind. I was going to say he's going to be one of the mystery guys, but the TNA one has happened before. So
yeah.
Can't do that. So I will post our who won with the picks. But since it is WrestleMania weekend, it is WrestleMania 2 days, and it's just crazy the amount of matches. I don't know what they're going to do with Randy Orton. I kind of think they're going to have him have a match, a surprise match. I haven't paid attention enough to...
Now, if this thing is not real with the actual surgery with Kevin Owens, and that would be so brilliant.
It really will. I mean, it really will if Kevin Owens, who is supposed to be injured, if this is all just a storyline and he's really going to have a match with Orton.
Yes, and it would be brilliant.
That'll really be cool. Some people think that Nick Aldis is going to wrestle Orton because Orton, RKO'd him, which I would like to see Aldis wrestle, but I would rather see him go against Adam Pearce, SmackDown GM versus Raw GM, because Pearce used to be a wrestler as well.
Yes.
I mean, hell, he was an both of them were NWA champions at one point. So I don't know what they're going to do with Randy Orton, if they're going to do anything. I'd like to see it, because I think he's done really well since he's come back. But there's still a lot of matches. The War Raiders, the World Tag Team Champions against the New Day. Who are you going with?
War Raiders.
All right, the Raiders. I am going to go War Raiders as well.
I'm liking that they're calling them the War Raiders.
I am too. Rey Mysterio against El Grande Americano.
El Grande!
All right, you're going with El Grande. Jade Cargill against Naomi.
Probably going to be Jade.
Jade? Okay. I think this has been really well built up.
Yes.
They made Jade look like a monster. They made Naomi just look like a petulant child that, is just complaining about everything and acting like she's dangerous when she's going up against Jade Cargill, who could wreck her in any kind of fight. But
I think it's funny how she's wearing like the Owen Hart.
Yeah, with the caution. Yeah,
yes.
That's pretty cool. I would love it if they did the siren in front of her music.
Yeah.
I think that would be cool. This match I'm really looking forward to for the U.S. title, LA Knight against Jacob Fatu. I don't know if they're going to pull the trigger on Jacob Fatu. I don't think they should yet.
No.
I think it'll be great. I think it's going to be... I'm going to pick LA Knight winning by disqualification. I think Jacob Fatu is just going to go so nuts and do all of his stuff, and the referee's going to tell him to stop, and the referee's going to end up counting to 5, and Jacob Fatu is going to get DQ'd. How about you?
Well, I'm going to pull that trigger and say Jacob.
All right, you're going to say Fatu? All right, that's cool. This match has a lot of intrigue because people are saying they went off script, and Tiffany Stratton against Charlotte Flair for the WWE Women's title.
Tiffany.
I think it's going to be Tiffany as well.
Charlotte can go fucking pound salt.
Yeah, nobody wants her back.
No.
And even Jim Cornette and Brian Last, I know I talk about them a lot, but I listen to their podcast all the time because it helps me get through my work day. But they're starting to realize that the fans do not want Charlotte. When she came back at the Royal Rumble, as soon as she came back, you were like, fuck, she's going to win now.
Yep.
And she's automatically going to get a title shot. Every time she comes back, she has a different face every time. I'm sorry if changing the way you look makes you feel better about yourself, but she's literally had a different face every fucking time she's come back.
But every time she cries, she looks more and more like Rick.
It's just, I don't understand it. And every time she comes back, she's immediately in the title picture.
Yep.
Every freaking time. And the fans don't want it. They like Tiffany. They like Tiffy time. They like the athlete that she is. It's her time. Charlotte's is gone. It's been gone.
It's definitely fucking
And every
gone.
time I see a post by Ric Flair, I get that he loves his daughter. I get that he wants to stick up for his daughter. She's not the greatest wrestler ever. She's not. She never will be. There are women that never got to WWE that are 10 times better than Charlotte Flair.
Definitely.
Mercedes Martinez, who was in NXT, I don't know if she ever made it to the main roster in WWE, I can't remember, is 10 times better than Charlotte Flair. Sarah Del Rey, one of the trainers in NXT, is 10 times better than Charlotte Flair. In my opinion, Becky Lynch is 10 times better than Charlotte Flair. There are so many women that are better than Charlotte Flair. She should not eclipse Ric Flair's record of being a world champion. She shouldn't eclipse anybody. She's horrible in my opinion.
I mean,
she always has been.
Look at the one WrestleMania where she dropped Sasha Banks on her fucking head.
Yeah, it just... I'll never understand how people can say she's a great wrestler because I don't get it.
Greatest WrestleMania moment of Charlotte Flair where Rhea Ripley dropped her on her fucking head 2 years ago.
Yeah. I just... And we gave a shout out to Zoe on the one episode, and she likes to give me shit and call me a Charlotte Flair fan and all that stuff. And anytime Charlotte does something, she comes back at me with it, which is funny because this match I'm really excited about. I'm gonna put these on for that. The World Heavyweight Title, Jey Uso main event. Jey Uso against Gunther. I really am looking forward to this. It was the build up to it wasn't great starting out, but now Gunther,
it's starting to get really good momentum.
With Gunther bloodying up Jimmy Uso and making Jey watch it and being zip tied to the ropes and he couldn't help, and Jey the next week doing a very emotional promo and telling Gunther he's going to get him and edge us. And then like this past Monday, he came out through the crowd like he normally does to his music, but he didn't have the colorful shirt on. He was in complete black. He got up on the announce table. He didn't yeet at all. He kind of did a little dance when they replayed his music and got into it with Michael Cole, but he wasn't doing the yeeting. He was serious. I mean, he got into it a little bit with the crowd, but he wasn't doing his normal stuff. I really like what they're doing. If they don't have him win the title, you're killing a lot of the momentum of the biggest merch, merch seller that you've got right now. And Gunther doesn't need the title. I don't know what they'll do with him after this.
They haven't done anything with him since he won it.
Yeah, to be honest, I think Gunther needs to go away for a little bit, to be honest. But he's still good. I mean...
he is a great monster fucking heel.
He really is. And the thing is that there's so many people on the roster. There's so many people that they need to do things with. And I'm surprised that Netflix isn't having a 3-hour Raw. There's so many people on the roster, and it's not like you have time constraints on Netflix.
Really?
But whatever. I mean, there's a lot that's going on. So I say Jey Uso. You going with Jey Uso?
I'm going to say Gunther. Sorry.
All right. Going to say Gunther. All right. That's cool.
Sorry, I want to have a little...
We don't have to agree. I'm going to skip this match for right now. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, or Gonzalez, I don't know, I can't remember what.
Liv.
Going, against Bayley and Lyra Valkyria, who is the Women's Intercontinental Champion. You're going with...
Yeah, because I gotta feel the feeling that they're going to turn on each other.
Yeah, I don't see Bayley and Lyra winning this.
No, I see Bayley fucking turning on her.
I really like Lyra Valkyria. I think she does really good in her matches. I think she's really good, so... And the Scottish accent always gets me. I love the
Calm down there.
I'm just saying. AJ Styles against Logan Paul.
AJ.
Okay,
fuck Logan.
This will be a crazy match. It will be amazing. And I don't like Logan Paul. I think he's a douchebag. But
he is a fucking douchebag.
I mean, and that's his character anyways. But I think he's a shit person. But he has good matches. But I think AJ is going to win, but who knows? They might have Logan Paul do something stupid and win. I don't know. Mm-hmm. The Intercontinental title, a fatal 4-way. Braun Breaker, the champion, versus Penta, versus Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio.
Oh, this one's hard. If they do it, it will be out of fucking nowhere. If they pull the trigger and have Finn win it.
You going with Finn?
I have a feeling that they might have fucking Finn win it.
I think the obvious choice is Penta, and I'm going with Penta. They brought him in so strong. Braun Breaker doesn't need the title right now. I think what's going to happen, this is just me speculating, Breaker's going to lose the title at Mania, but he's going to win Money in the Bank, and he's going to end up cashing in Money in the Bank and become World Heavyweight Champion. That's what I feel is going to happen. Because they've got big plans for Braun Breaker. You can see it. That spear that he did on Carlito on Raw, where that one was more impactful than the one Goldberg did on Christian.
Yes.
His spear is, and I think there's too many people doing the spear, but his spear is just ridiculous. The amount of momentum and speed that Braun Breaker gets and the stuff that he does is just ridiculous.
They need to put him in a world title picture.
Right. And I think that's, like I said, I think he's going to win Money in the Bank. But I'm going to go with Penta for this. I think Penta is going to be the Intercontinental Champion. And Rey Fenix, Penta's brother, just debuted on SmackDown, so I don't think he's going to get a WrestleMania match, but it's cool that he's there too. And one's on Raw, one's on SmackDown. You don't need to go into the Lucha Brothers right away. Let them be their own thing. Rey Fenix got a great, ovation on SmackDown. His match was really good. So I think that sky's the limit for those guys. They're so amazing. If you've ever watched any Lucha Underground, you know how good those two are.
Oh, definitely.
Sin City Street Fight, Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre. Who are you going with this one?
Probably Damian Priest.
I'm going to say McIntyre, just because he's been whining and complaining for so long, and they're not really doing anything with Priest lately. I'm going to go with McIntyre, but...
Yeah, ever since he lost the world title,
Yeah, I think he needed Judgment Day, to be honest. I really think he needed to be part of that group. He's a great performer. I mean, I met him when he was Punishment Martinez at an indie show back when he was still with Ring of Honor, so he's a good guy, but it just seems like he's floundering. And not everybody can be a top guy. You just can't. I saw a video of Drew McIntyre saying his do's and don'ts for people at WrestleMania this weekend, and one of them was wear deodorant. And I could concur. There are a lot of mouth-breathing wrestling fans that do not wear deodorant, and it is bad.
Yeah.
And if you're at a meet and greet and the wrestler has to smell you, that's why I don't put my hand around people. Because I feel like if I'm around one of the women and I put my hand around her waist, unless she does it herself, like when I met Miss Tessmacher and she was wearing a bikini, there was no way I was putting my arm around her waist and accidentally grabbing her ass or touching her ass. But she put her arm over my shoulder, kind of like up on my shoulder for the picture. When I met Victoria, she gave me 3 hugs. I didn't ask for a hug. I wasn't going to ask for a hug, but she did it anyways. That stuff, but I'm not going to put my arm around them because I'm not going to do something that makes them uncomfortable. So just don't follow them at the airport. Don't come up to them at the hotel when they're with their family. If they're in a restaurant and they're eating, especially with their family, and you want an autograph or a picture, wait till they're fucking done eating.
Yes. And don't fucking sit there and videotape them.
No, that is just these people that ambush them at the airports, especially at an airport, or I know people that they'll go into the parking garage and they're real people. I know they're superstars and you feel like you need access to them. They're people. They, especially at the airport, maybe they're trying to connect to another flight. They're trying to get to the next city, especially during WrestleMania. It's the biggest show of the year. It's 2 days now. They've got to be in the same hotel, the same city for the whole weekend. Right up, from Raw all the way till the next Raw. They're in the same city, the same hotel. Don't stake out the hotel.
No.
Don't be shoving merchandise in their face. They have an entire WWE world where you can meet all the wrestlers. I know it's expensive, but have some respect.
Exactly.
I mean, when we do, how many times have we done conventions where people bitch about having to pay for autographs?
Yes.
Would you go to a baseball convention and one of the top MLB players is there and you're bitching about having to pay for it? You go to Comic-Con and Michael J. Fox or Christopher Lloyd or any of the guys from the Lord of the Rings are there. You're telling me you're not going to pay for autographs? Stop being so fucking selfish as a wrestling fan. There are no people on the planet that hate wrestling more than the internet wrestling fans. We complain about certain things, yes, but we also love the business. We go to indie shows. We do this show because we love the business. When I talked about, saying that Tony Khan needed to apologize, I'm saying that as a wrestling fan that sees what's going on and can pick out the stuff that needs to change. I complain about stuff about WWE. I don't complain the way a lot of wrestling fans complain. There are some that bitch about every fucking thing they see and they don't enjoy it. I've had people say to me when I've gone to shows and I've helped set up the ring or I've helped set up the steel cage, and they say, when you see the way the sausage is made, do you not want sausage anymore? No. I love it even more because I know what those guys go through. I've put together the wrestling ring. I've seen the steel and the boards that these guys land on all the time.
And we've both been inside that ring.
It's not a trampoline.
No.
There's some give to it, but it is not a trampoline.
No.
Go back and watch like the early 90s and the 80s. Watch Yokozuna do his leg drop and watch that ring not move a fucking inch. And that guy was 600 pounds. You're landing on that all the time. Hulk Hogan's gotten a lot of shit lately, and a lot of it is deserved. But when you've had as many back surgeries as he's had because he landed on his tailbone for years and years, it's a contact sport. Have respect for these people. I love going to conventions and meeting wrestlers. I never know what to say to them. I've seen Mick Foley, I've met a few times. I never know what to say to them. There's so many things I want to say. There were so many things I wanted to say to Eric Bischoff when we met him. It just never comes out.
No.
I'm always going to be a starstruck fan, no matter how many wrestlers I meet. The next episode, we're going to talk more about the Wrestling Classic that we're going to be going to, that we're going to be doing a table at. I kind of got off track with the Drew McIntyre video, but there's 3 more matches that they've announced so far. We're recording this on Wednesday, the Wednesday before WrestleMania. The women's world title, Io Sky versus Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley. Who are you going with?
Ooh, that is going to be tough. I don't want to see Bianca win it.
I don't either. And I don't think they're going to keep it on Io.
No.
I say Rhea Ripley.
I say Rhea too.
I say Rhea Ripley, but I see Bianca Belair turning heel.
Yeah.
She's been acting like a bitch lately. She's been wearing black a lot. I'm not saying that's always a heel, but...
You know what would be cool? If it comes out that she was the one also behind Jade.
Right. I could see her being the mastermind of
it.
Especially with how hard she was overacting at Elimination Chamber when Naomi was getting beat up. I mean, she was laying it on way too thick.
Oh, yeah.
So I could see Bianca turning heel, which, whatever. I mean,
it is what it is.
She's a great athlete. She's a good character. She does good on promos. I just don't care. Nope. There's certain people that wrestle, and it's not always the women. There's just certain people I don't care about. I just don't. Cody Rhodes versus John Cena for the WWE title.
Cody.
Going Cody? Okay. I like that we are at the Wednesday before WrestleMania. They've only mentioned The Rock once. He has not showed up since they did the whole turn. Keep him out of it.
Yes.
Keep him completely out of it. They don't need it. They haven't needed it. That whole thing with Cena, he could have hugged Cody and kicked him in the balls, and you didn't need any of The Rock.
No.
He's I know a lot of people that like Rock. He's WWE's Chris Jericho. He could have turned that to shit if he had stayed with it, but the whole John Cena thing, it did not need him at all. I hope he stays away. I'm sure they're going to do something with him at WrestleMania, but they don't need it. But I don't see Cody losing to Cena.
No.
I just don't. Cena, I don't think he's going to win the one. I don't think he's going to win it. I think he's going to bitch the rest of the year because he can't win the title for the 17th time and break Flair's record. I don't know. But the match I'm most looking forward to, I think this match has been built up so perfectly. So perfectly. Roman Reigns versus CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. All the stuff with Paul Heyman. Seth Rollins on Raw hit Roman Reigns in the back again with a steel chair. Punk's hitting on all cylinders. Rollins is serious again. Roman Reigns is... The crowd still loves him, but he's being a dick. He's being the tribal chief again. He's being a dick again. And this crowd still loves him, but he's still being a dick. He went right back to being the asshole that he was when he was the tribal chief. It's just Triple H is doing so well with this. Yes. It's crazy.
And he's treating a lot of the wrestlers a lot better with scheduling and everything like that.
You know, it's so good. So I say CM Punk. He's main eventing WrestleMania. He's always wanted to main event WrestleMania.
I say CM Punk also.
Okay. But
what if fucking Paul Heyman turns on both of them?
That's the thing. I could see him going with Rollins. I could see him helping Rollins, but screwing Roman Reigns by helping Rollins, but CM Punk still ends up getting the win.
Yes.
Paul Heyman's helping Rollins backfires, and Punk somehow still wins. That's the way I could see it happening, but I do think Paul's going to turn on somebody. You know, it just...
Right.
But I think it's going to be a really good... I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 matches over 2 days. And if Randy Orton has a match, too.
That'll be 14.
That could be 7 matches per day or however they want to do it. It's an amazing weekend. I mean, you've got the TNA show, you've got NXT Stand and Deliver. If you're out in Vegas, there's all the independent shows. There's WrestleCon. It's way too expensive for me. If they don't ever change the prices of this shit, I'm not paying a few $100s to do nosebleed at WrestleMania. I'm just not doing it. I might go to do WWE World and do but I'm not spending the money to fucking go to WrestleMania. I would
love to go to WWE World.
I would too. I don't know why. I really don't know why they don't do conventions where they do a huge convention, just a convention, where it's just meet and greets with their entire fucking roster.
Yes.
Not at a pay-per-view, not at a Raw, not at a SmackDown, where they have once a year, they just a major city, and they do it over,
a course of a few days.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, where they've already pre-recorded SmackDown, and they just do a huge fucking convention where you can, and you know what? You make the ticket prices reasonable.
Yes.
And because you're doing it over 4 days, everybody can meet everybody. You don't have to do matches. You don't just meet and greets for fucking everybody. Exactly. You sell a shitload of merchandise. I don't know why you don't do that. Instead of having it where WrestleMania, where people are already spending a shitload of fucking money just to get tickets to the show, you're doing the meet and greets. I mean, it's cool. As a wrestling fan, I think that's still a cool experience. I would love to do it, but to me, the amount of money doesn't justify it. No. It just doesn't. Ever since they've gone with TKO and they've gone with Fanatics for their merchandise, the prices have exploded to a point where I don't want to pay the money. I mean, I bought this off of Temu. If this was a WWE shirt, this would be like $35 for my size.
Yeah.
That's creeping up on, Kiss concert prices for T-shirts. it doesn't make sense to me. But they're all about making money now, so I get it, I guess.
Where that done over Hulk Hogan shirt was at a reasonable price on eBay.
Mm-hmm. Right, and that's the thing is I get it. This is bootleg because it's from Temu. I mean, it's just I've seen this on TeePublic as well, where it was actually screen printed. This, I mean, I still like this anyways. I mean,
hell, it would make a great work shirt.
Right. I mean, it was. I think it was $10. Like, you know, so I'm really excited about WrestleMania. I'm not going to be able to watch it live, which sucks. I'm not going to be able to avoid spoilers. You just can't.
I can't avoid the spoilers either.
And to me, with WrestleMania, the spoilers don't matter to me.
No.
I'm still going to watch it. It's still going to be a banger of a show. And I can't wait.
And I said this for the past... I said it last year, and I'm saying it again this year. It feels like a fucking WrestleMania.
It does. It really does. Like, I think the pandemic really screwed WrestleMania for a while, and now... And Vince is gone. The stuff doesn't feel stupid.
No, and it actually, to tell you the truth, WWE finally got its hard reset that it needed for years.
Yeah, it really did. Yep. So we will be reviewing WrestleMania on the next episode. I will try to get him a copy of Unbreakable so he can watch that. If you want to watch NXT Stand and Deliver, I mean, it'll be on Peacock, so you can watch it. I'm not really excited about Stand and Deliver. There are certain things on NXT that I like, but going through that's a lot of multiple person matches, and I've been kind of over those for a while. Granted, there are those on WrestleMania too, but it's fucking WrestleMania.
Yeah,
they built those up really well as well.
Yes.
So, not saying that they haven't built up stuff well on NXT. Shawn Michaels doing a great job, but I'm more excited for WrestleMania than I am anything NXT. I don't know what we'll do. His next pick. Grab your sign, just for the hell of it. And Nick still picks. We'll be doing WrestleMania 14 on the next episode. I actually watched it today, anticipating that we were going to do it today, but it's fine. I
was trying to watch it the other day, and then I got busy doing shit.
No, it's fine. It's fine. So we'll be reviewing WrestleMania. We'll talk about other things. There'll be more wrestling to talk about. We're going to be going to a show in May and in Vermont with Danhausen's going to be there, so that's really cool.
You want to fucking tell them what happened when you contacted the promoter?
Oh, I mean, they said that they weren't going to have us do a table, but they wanted to do more local people, more local vendors, which that's fine. It kind of struck me weird at first because I've never had a wrestling promotion tell me they didn't want my money. We bought tickets to the show, and it was $45 between mine, his, and his brother's. So $45 as opposed to what you would have gotten for a table. I'm still going to go. I'm still going to have a good time.
Yes.
I'm not throwing shade on the promotion at all.
So we'll save that for when we review it after we watch it.
And we're not going to throw shade either, because I'm sure it'll be a good show.
No, the only thing that we shall throw shade on.
What?
Experience Con.
Oh, yeah, Experience. Yeah, fuck them. Heroes Hideout and all that shit.
Yes.
And we will be talking about more about the Wrestling Classic. I forgot to print out the whole list of everybody that's going to be there. If you can go in June to the Wrestling Classic in Springfield, Massachusetts, look up Zombie Hideout or Captain's Corner on Facebook or zombiehideout.com. It's going to be amazing.
Yes.
Mick Foley and JBL are the headliners.
We still got to make that thing up for Mick Foley.
Yes, we do. Yeah, we're going to do a jersey for Mick Foley with our logo on it because he is the inspiration for our logo. I have the new backdrop up today, so you can't see our logo, which is behind it.
But we are doing a special one for him.
Yes, we are. We are doing a special jersey for him because our logo has the thumbs up and the wink when he used to do Cheap Pops. The name of the show is Cheap Pops. So we want to do something special for Mick Foley. We both have already met him, so we just want to do something special and give him a gift. So
he's such a great wrestler.
And he's a great dude. So
yes.
Check out the Wrestling Classic. It's not that hard to search for it.
You want to talk about somebody who has given so much back to the fans? Right there, Mick Foley.
Absolutely, he's amazing. So We'll be reviewing WrestleMania. We'll be reviewing other things. Thank you so much if you stuck with us this long. Thank you for checking out the show. At Cheap Pop Show on X, Twitter. Just look up Cheap Pops on Cheap Pop Show on Facebook. CheapPopShow.com, which is basically a link to all our social media. Like, subscribe, comment. We love comments. We love to hear what people think about the show. We'll be letting you know if we're going to be doing any more conventions or tables at any more shows. Thank you so much for checking out the show. I'll let you take us out this time.
Pop guys out.